Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A1 English Podcast, the show where we help you speak English with real confidence, one conversation at a time.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Jack. And today we're talking about something that might actually surprise a lot of you.
Ooh, I love surprises. What is it?
Okay, quick question for you, Jessica. When someone thanks you at work, what do you usually say?
Honestly, I usually just say, no problem.
Exactly. And that's what almost everyone says. But here's the thing. In professional English, no problem can actually send the wrong message.
Wait, really? I had no idea. I say that all day long at work.
You're definitely not alone. Millions of English learners and even native speakers use no problem without realizing how it can sound in certain situations.
Okay, now I'm curious. So what's today's topic exactly?
Today's topic is don't say no problem. Better responses in professional English.
I love this topic because honestly, this is something we use every single day in emails, in meetings, with our boss, with clients, with everyone.
Exactly. And by the end of this episode, you'll have a whole toolbox of natural, professional responses that make you sound polished, confident, and warm, all at the same time.
Before we dive in, quick reminder for everyone listening, if these episodes are helping your English, please hit that like button and subscribe to A1 English Podcast.
Yes, because subscribing isn't just supporting us, it's a way of supporting your own English journey. Every episode you watch is one more step toward speaking with full confidence.
Okay, so let's get into it. Don't worry, this is not a boring grammar lesson.
No grammar rules today, just real expressions, real situations, and real English you can use starting tomorrow at work.
And honestly, I think this episode is going to change how I talk at work starting tomorrow.
I think so too. These are small changes, but they make a really big difference in how people perceive you professionally.
Okay, I'm excited. Let's jump right in.
Okay, Jessica, let's start with a simple question. Why do you think no problem can sometimes be a problem?
Honestly, I never really thought about it. To me, it always felt polite.
It is polite. In casual situations, with friends, with family, no problem is totally fine. The issue is when we use it in more professional contexts, especially with clients, senior colleagues, or in formal emails.
Okay, but why exactly? What's wrong with it?
Well, think about the words themselves. No problem literally means this was not a problem for me.
Right?
So when your manager thanks you for finishing a report and you say, no problem, what you're really saying is, don't worry, this task didn't cause me any trouble.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's like you're focusing on the task being easy instead of focusing on the relationship.
Exactly. And in some situations, it can even sound like you're suggesting the request could have been a problem, which can feel a little awkward.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. So if my boss says, thank you for staying late to finish this, and I say, no problem,
It can sound like, well, it wasn't that big a deal, don't worry about it, which is fine between friends, but in a professional setting, it can feel a bit flat, a bit too casual.
so what should we say instead?
That's exactly what we're going to cover today. But first, let's understand who uses no problem and why it became so common in the first place.
Good idea.
No problem became popular because it's short, easy, and friendly. It works great with friends, classmates, and even casual coworkers.
Right, like if a friend says, thanks for waiting for me, you can just say, no problem, don't worry about it.
Exactly. That's perfect in that context. But the moment you step into a more professional environment, a client call, a formal email, a meeting with senior management, the tone needs to shift a little.
Okay, so it's not that no problem is wrong, it's more about choosing the right tone for the right situation.
Exactly. English, just like any language, has different levels of formality, and professional English usually focuses on three things: warmth, respect, and confidence.
I like that. Warmth, respect, and confidence.
And the responses we're going to learn today do all three at the same time. They sound warm, they sound respectful, and they sound confident, without sounding cold or robotic.
Perfect. I'm ready. Let's get into our first key point.
Actually, before we move on, let's quickly imagine three situations.
Okay, go for it.
Situation 1. Your coworker says, "Thanks for grabbing coffee for me."
No problem. Totally fine here.
Exactly. Perfect. Situation 2. A client emails you and says, "Thank you so much for handling this issue so quickly."
And if I reply, no problem,
It's not terrible, but it might sound a little too casual for a client relationship. Something like, "It was my pleasure to help," or "I'm happy I could assist," sounds more polished.
got it. And situation 3?
Situation 3, your manager says, "Thank you for covering my meeting while I was out sick."
This feels more personal, so no problem might sound a bit dismissive here, right?
Exactly. Something like, "Of course, I hope you're feeling better," shows warmth and care, and that's what builds strong professional relationships.
This is so practical already. I can already think of so many times I said no problem when I probably shouldn't have. Don't worry, you're definitely not alone. Almost every English learner does this, and honestly, a lot of native speakers too. Okay, I'm ready now. Let's get into our first key point.
All right, so our first key point is all about responding to thank you.
This is the most common one, right? Because we hear thank you all day at work.
Exactly. So let's go through some natural alternatives, one by one.
Perfect. Let's start with the most common one.
Number 1, you're welcome. This is the classic, safe option. It works in almost every situation.
So if my colleague says, "Thanks for sending the file," I can say,
You're welcome. Simple, polite, professional. Always a safe choice.
okay, what's next?
Number 2, my pleasure. This one adds a little extra warmth. It shows that you genuinely enjoyed helping.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine a client says, "Thank you for explaining everything so clearly." You could respond, "My pleasure. Let me know if you have any other questions."
I love that. It sounds so warm and welcoming.
Exactly. Number 3, happy to help. This is great when someone thanks you for assistance.
So if a new coworker says, "Thanks for showing me how the system works," I could say,
Happy to help. Let me know if you need anything else. It shows you're approachable and supportive.
"This is so much better than just no problem."
Number 4, of course. This one is short, but it sounds confident and natural.
When would I use this one?
Imagine your manager says, "Thanks for finishing this before the deadline." You could simply say, "Of course, I wanted to make sure it was ready for tomorrow."
That sounds so professional.
Number 5, anytime. This works well with people you work with regularly. It shows that helping them isn't a big deal, but in a positive way.
Like if a teammate says, "Thanks for covering my shift yesterday," I could say, "Anytime. Just let me know if you ever need help again."
Exactly. It builds a real sense of teamwork.
Okay, I have a question. What if I want to sound a little more formal, like with a client or in a written email?
Great question. For formal written communication, try, "I'm glad I could help," or "I appreciate you saying that."
Ooh, I appreciate you saying that. Sounds really nice.
It does. It shows gratitude right back, which builds a really positive connection.
So instead of just saying "no problem" and ending the conversation, these phrases actually continue the relationship.
Exactly. That's such a great way to put it. No problem can sound like a conversation ender, but phrases like "happy to help" or "let me know if you need anything else" keep the door open for more communication.
This is so useful. Let's do a quick practice round.
Perfect idea. Okay, imagine your boss says, "Thank you for staying late to finish the project."
Let me think. I'd say, of course, I wanted to make sure everything was ready for tomorrow's meeting.
Excellent. That's exactly the right tone. Confident, warm, and professional.
Yes! Okay, one more. A client emails and says, thank you for the quick response.
I'd reply, "You're very welcome. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything else."
Perfect. See, this already feels so much more natural.
And that's the goal. Not memorizing rules, but actually feeling comfortable using these phrases.
Jack, can we also talk about tone of voice? Because sometimes I say the right words, but I think my tone makes it sound wrong.
Absolutely. Great point. Tone matters just as much as the words. When you say, "You're welcome," try to say it with a smile in your voice, a little warmth, a little energy.
So even the same words can sound different depending on how we say them.
Exactly. "You're welcome," said flatly, can sound cold, but "you're welcome," said with a friendly tone, sounds genuinely warm.
That's such a good reminder. Words and tone work together.
Right. And one more thing. In professional English, adding a short follow-up sentence makes your response sound even more complete.
Like what?
For example, instead of just, "You're welcome," you could say, "You're welcome. It was great working on this with you."
Oh, that's lovely. It shows appreciation right back to the other person, too.
Exactly. Little additions like that make a huge difference in how people perceive you at work.
Jack, what about emails specifically? Sometimes thank you comes at the very end of a long email thread, and I never quite know how to close it.
Great question. In emails, you can finish with something like, "Thanks again for your patience. Talk soon." Or, "Really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day."
Oh, those sound so warm. Much better than just no problem as the last line of an email.
Exactly. And one more useful phrase for emails. "Thank you for understanding." It works really well when you've had to ask someone to wait or to make a small change.
I'm definitely saving that one. Thank you for understanding. So simple, but so professional. Okay, I think I've got a really solid understanding of thank you responses now. What's our second key point?
Our second key point is about a different situation, when someone apologizes to you or asks you for a favor.
Ooh, this is interesting, because no problem is also super common in these situations.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're going to fix next.
Okay, so let's move to our second key point, how to respond when someone apologizes or when someone asks you for help.
This is so relevant because at work, people apologize all the time. Sorry I'm late, sorry for the confusion, sorry to bother you.
Exactly. And our automatic response is usually, "No problem."
Guilty. I say that constantly.
It's totally natural, but let's look at some alternatives that sound even more thoughtful and professional.
I'm ready.
First one, don't worry about it. This is warm, reassuring, and works in almost any situation.
So if a coworker says, sorry I'm late to the meeting, I could say,
Don't worry about it. We just started. It immediately puts the other person at ease.
I like that a lot. What's next?
Second one, it's completely fine, or it's totally fine. This works really well when something small went wrong.
Example?
Imagine a colleague says, "Sorry for sending you so many emails today." You could say, "It's completely fine. I appreciate you keeping me updated."
That actually turns something slightly annoying into something positive.
Exactly. Number 3, no worries at all. This is friendly, modern, and sounds confident.
When would I use this?
If someone says, "Sorry, I need to reschedule our call," you could respond, "No worries at all. Let me know what time works best for you."
This sounds so much smoother than no problem.
Now, here's an important point. What if the apology is for something more serious, like a mistake that actually caused real issues?
Oh, that's a good question, because no problem in that case might sound like you're not taking it seriously.
Exactly. In those situations, no problem can feel dismissive. Instead, try, "Thank you for letting me know," or "I appreciate you telling me. Let's figure out the next steps together."
Oh, that's so much more mature and solution-focused.
Exactly. It shows that you're not just brushing off the issue, you're focused on solving it as a team.
Okay, now let's talk about requests, like when someone asks us for a favor.
Great, let's move on to that. So imagine a coworker says, "Could you help me with this report?" What would you usually say?
Honestly, no problem. I'll do it now.
And that's totally fine. But here are a few alternatives that sound even more proactive and confident.
Go ahead.
Number 1, sure, I'd be happy to. This shows enthusiasm.
Number 2?
Number 2, absolutely, I can take care of that. This sounds confident and dependable.
I love I can take care of that. It sounds so capable.
Exactly. And number 3, of course, consider it done.
Ooh, that one sounds really strong, like you're someone people can rely on.
Exactly. These phrases don't just answer the request, they build trust. They show that you're reliable, positive, and proactive.
This is so good. Can we do a quick practice round again?
Of course. Imagine your manager says, "Sorry to ask you this so last minute, but could you prepare the slides for tomorrow?"
I'd say, no worries at all. I'll have them ready by this afternoon.
Perfect. That response is warm, confident, and solution-focused. Everything we want.
One more. A teammate says, sorry for the mix-up with the schedule.
I'd respond, "That's totally fine. Thanks for letting me know. I'll update my calendar now."
I love how natural that sounds.
You know, Jessica, there's one more thing I want to add here, something that really elevates these responses.
What's that?
Adding a small personal touch. For example, instead of just saying, "Of course, I can take care of that," you could add, "Of course, I actually enjoy working on these reports."
Oh, that's such a nice detail. It makes the response feel more genuine.
Exactly. And in workplaces where people come from many different countries and backgrounds, these warm responses help build trust much faster.
That's such an important point. English isn't just about grammar, it's about connection.
Exactly. And one last thing before we move on, timing matters too. If you respond quickly and warmly, even a simple "of course" can feel incredibly supportive.
So it's not just what we say, but how quickly and how warmly we say it. Jack, one more question about requests. What if we actually can't help? Like if someone asks for something and we have to say no?
Good question. No problem doesn't really fit there anyway, but a lot of learners just say "no, sorry," which can sound a bit harsh.
Right, that does feel a bit harsh.
Instead, try, "I'm afraid I can't take that on right now, but let me know if it's still needed tomorrow."
Oh, that's so much softer, and it still offers a solution.
Exactly. Or you could say, "Unfortunately, I'm fully booked today, but I'd be happy to help first thing tomorrow."
That sounds so professional. It's a no that still feels respectful.
Exactly. And that's a huge part of professional English. It's not about avoiding no, it's about saying it with warmth and offering an alternative whenever possible. Exactly. Okay, I think we've covered this key point really well. Let's move on to some common mistakes people make with this topic. All right, let's talk about common mistakes with this topic. No problem, and its alternatives.
Yes, I feel like I've made at least one of these.
Mistake number 1 is overusing no problem in every single situation, no matter who you're talking to.
Oh, I definitely do this. I say it to my friends, my boss, clients, everyone.
And that's actually really common. The fix isn't to never say no problem, it's to start noticing who you're talking to and choosing your words based on that.
So with friends and casual coworkers, no problem is totally fine.
Exactly. But with clients, senior management, or in written communication, mixing in phrases like "you're welcome," "my pleasure," or "of course" makes a big difference.
Got it. What's mistake number 2?
Mistake number 2 is repeating the same phrase over and over in one conversation.
Oh, like saying no problem 5 times in one email thread?
Exactly. It can start to sound robotic, like you're not really paying attention.
So the fix is...
Variety. Mix it up. Of course, in one message,
happy to help in the next, you're welcome in another. It keeps the conversation feeling natural and human.
That makes so much sense. What's mistake number 3?
Mistake number 3 is using no problem when someone apologizes for something that actually caused a real issue, like a missed deadline that affected the whole team.
Right, because in that case, no problem can sound like you're not acknowledging the impact.
Exactly. In those situations, it's better to say something like, "Thanks for letting me know. Let's figure out a plan to get back on track."
That shifts the focus from the apology to the solution.
Exactly. And that's such an important skill in professional English, moving conversations forward in a positive direction.
Okay, is there a 4th mistake?
There's actually one more, and this one is about written English specifically.
Some learners write no problem in formal emails, especially to clients or managers they don't know well.
And that can feel a bit too casual in writing? Exactly. In written professional English, phrases like, "I'm happy to help with this," or "Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything else," tend to sound more polished.
This is so helpful. I feel like I'm going to start noticing these patterns everywhere now, in my own emails and meetings.
That's exactly the goal. Once you start noticing it, you'll naturally start choosing better phrases without even thinking about it.
Okay, before we move to the practice section, can we do a quick spot the mistake game?
I love that idea. Okay, here's a sentence. A client writes, "Thank you so much for the detailed report. It really helped our team." And you reply, "No problem, NP."
Oh no, NP? That's way too casual for a client.
Exactly. What would be better?
Maybe, "You're very welcome. I'm really glad it was helpful for your team."
Perfect. See how natural that feels?
This game is so fun. Let's do one more.
Okay, your manager says, "Sorry for the short notice, but can you join this call in 10 minutes?
And if I say, "No problem, whatever,"
That whatever definitely needs to go.
true, I'd say, "Of course, I'll be there in a few minutes."
Perfect. Confident, warm, and professional. Exactly what we want. One more thing before we move on, and this is more about communication style overall.
Go ahead.
Sometimes people focus so much on finding the perfect phrase that they forget about confidence. Even a simple phrase, said with confidence and a warm tone, can sound amazing.
So it's not just about memorizing new words, it's about how we deliver them.
Exactly. Confidence plus warmth plus the right phrase equals professional, natural-sounding English.
Jack, is this different in different English-speaking countries? Like, do British and American speakers use these phrases differently?
That's such a good question. In American English, no problem is extremely common, even in semi-formal settings, but you're welcome and my pleasure are still seen as more polished.
And in British English?
In British English, phrases like not at all, cheers, and no worries are also very common. Cheers especially is used a lot, even in casual conversations.
Oh, interesting. So cheers isn't just for drinks?
Exactly. In British English, it can also mean thanks or even goodbye in casual conversations.
That's so good to know. So depending on where you work or who you're talking to, it's worth paying attention to these little regional differences too.
Exactly. The phrases we taught today work well across all of these varieties of English, but it's always nice to notice these little local touches as you keep learning.
I love that. Confidence, warmth, and the right phrase.
Perfect summary. Now, let's put everything together in our practical application section. All right, let's put everything we learned into one realistic workplace scenario.
I love these role play moments.
Okay, imagine this. You're Jessica, working at a marketing agency. Your manager just walked over to your desk.
Okay, I'm ready.
Manager: "Hey Jessica, thank you so much for finishing the client presentation early. It really helped us prepare for tomorrow's meeting."
I'd say, "Of course. I wanted to make sure we had enough time to review everything together."
Perfect. Now the manager continues. Also, sorry for asking you to redo the slides yesterday. I know that was extra work.
I'd respond, don't worry about it at all. I actually think the new version looks much stronger.
That's such a great response. It's warm, positive, and it reassures your manager.
And finally, the manager says, thanks again. You're a huge help to this team. I'd say, thank you for saying that. I really enjoy working on this team.
Beautiful. See how the entire conversation flowed naturally without a single no problem?
And it actually felt warmer, more personal, and more professional.
Exactly. Now, for everyone listening, here's a small challenge for you.
Ooh, I love challenges.
Think about a real conversation you had this week at work or school, one where someone said thank you or sorry to you.
And now think about how you responded.
Then try saying it again, but this time using one of the phrases we learned today.
Say it out loud, even if you're alone right now.
Yes, practicing out loud really helps your brain get used to these new phrases.
And remember, even if it feels strange at first, that's totally normal. New phrases always feel a little awkward before they feel natural.
Exactly. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel, until one day they just come out automatically.
I'm honestly excited to try these out tomorrow at work.
Me too. And remember, you don't have to completely stop saying no problem. Just start adding variety, especially in more formal situations.
Variety, confidence, and warmth. I love it.
Let's do one more quick round just to make sure everything sticks.
Yes, let's do it.
Imagine you're in a meeting and a colleague says, "Thanks for preparing those numbers so quickly."
I'd say, happy to help. Let me know if you'd like me to break down any of the data further.
That's such a strong response. It shows initiative, too.
Your turn now. A client says, sorry for the late reply. Things have been busy on our end.
I'd say, no worries at all. I completely understand. Whenever works for you is perfectly fine.
That sounds so understanding and professional.
Exactly. And notice, in both of these examples, we're not just answering, we're adding something extra, an offer, reassurance, or encouragement.
That little extra really makes the response feel complete.
All right, one final scenario before we wrap up. Imagine you're on a call with an international client, and after a long discussion, they say, "Thank you for being so patient with all our questions today."
I'd say, of course, it's important to me that everything is completely clear, so please ask as many questions as you need.
That's such a strong professional response. It shows patience, care, and confidence all at once.
And the client adds, sorry again for all the back and forth.
I'd respond, not at all. This is exactly what these calls are for. I'm glad we could sort everything out together.
Not at all. That's a new one for me. I really like that.
It's another great alternative to no problem, short, polite, and warm. Exactly. All right, I think we've covered this topic from every angle. Let's wrap up with a quick summary. All right, everyone, let's quickly review what we learned today.
First, we talked about why no problem can sometimes sound too casual in professional settings, especially with clients, managers, or informal emails.
Then we learned several natural alternatives for responding to thank you, like you're welcome, my pleasure, happy to help, of course, and anytime.
We also covered responses for apologies and requests, phrases like, don't worry about it at all, no worries at all, sure, I'd be happy to, and absolutely, I can take care of that.
And we talked about common mistakes, overusing one phrase, repeating the same response too many times, and using overly casual language in formal writing.
Most importantly, we practiced everything with realistic workplace conversations.
Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to start noticing these small moments and gradually add more variety to your responses.
English is a tool for connection, not a test you need to pass.
Exactly. So next time someone says thank you or sorry to you, pause for just a second and try one of these new phrases.
Even if it feels a little new at first, that's okay. That's exactly how learning works.
If this episode helped you understand this topic better, please give it a like.
And if you want more practical, real English lessons like this one, don't forget to subscribe to A1 English Podcast.
We upload new episodes regularly, all designed to help you sound more natural, confident, and professional in English.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
Keep practicing, keep showing up, and keep believing in your progress.
Bye, everyone.
See you in the next episode.